Hello everyone! Today we're going to be reviewing your final design challenge, 3D printed parts with circuits. This will be your comprehensive final. You'll be required to use all of the previous things, skills, and knowledge that you've learned in this class. Your challenge is to design a custom 3D printed part that uses a simple circuit. You'll have two options. You can do one with a vibration motor, where the part will actually move around, or a simple light emitting diode, an LED. You'll be using a very similar process and set of procedures as you did in the last project, the reverse engineering project. So the first step is to sketch all the parts that will be included in your design and take precise measurements using your ruler, your caliper, or your micrometer. So you'll be required to take all the measurements of these standard parts and to sketch them out. You'll also be given a pre-made part to measure and redesign. And then you'll be required to design that original part. It's good to have your measuring tools around so you'll be designing it to the actual sizes that are necessary. Your final design must fit within a 3x3x3 design envelope. Also, your 3D printed part should be able to be printed without supports. You should also utilize a very efficient design approach when 3D printing so you're not wasting materials. You will also be required to use the pre-existing parts. And lastly, your sketch needs to be approved by me before moving on to the next step. The next step is your bill of materials, which will list all of your parts, including the prices and where you're going to be sourcing any other included components. The third step is to 3D model all of your objects. So you'll be using your CAD to model each piece individually, assign materials, appearances, and then assemble into a digital assembly using mate connectors and the proper joints. So if something gets slid into another object, you should use the sliding joint. The next step is to complete your technical drawings. Each drawing should have all the necessary information. Remember, this is a set of drawings, so it's not just a drawing of the whole object, but individual parts of that object as well. Each object should have its own drawing with all of the dimensions and notations, and you should also show how things are put together and what they're made of. So if I'm showing how this light and assembly gets inserted into this design, a section view might be really good to use here. Or maybe you might need detailed views, or maybe auxiliary views. Include all of the secondary views that you might need to communicate your part or design. The next step is to create a rendering of your final design before you actually make it. That way you have a good idea of how it will function or how it would look before you actually create it. Then you'll export all the files that you need to actually manufacture. So the parts that you need to 3D print should be exported as an STL. Once you have that STL, you will then use the slicer software to set it up to print. Remember, you should use the most efficient printing settings to make the best and most efficient use of materials. So think about the function of the part first and foremost, and how can you cut cost and waste without compromising the function of the object. Once you have your part made, you will then complete a self-evaluation, including a final image of your product, as well as all of the other necessary documentation. Let's review your two options. The first option is the light emitting diode, which is just an LED. It is created out of these three pre-existing parts: the LED, the CR20's coin cell battery, and then this part which allows you to assemble these two components. The way this works is you have your positive and negative side of your LED. Once it comes in contact with the battery, it lights up. So what this allows you to do is insert both of them into this design and then take this piece and include it into your original design. Now, along with these three parts, you will also have this negative piece. This doesn't actually have to be printed, but it should still be modeled, because what this allows you to do is treat it as a subtractive component from your design. I've already calculated the tolerances you'll need to have this fit in there without any fasteners or glue. So this diameter is slightly bigger than this base of this component, which has these little finger grips. So with this can slide into the part, and the tolerance this is actually smaller than the blue negative space because this has been already calculated and dimensioned. So you'll have to 3D model this, include it into your positive object, and subtract that material. So that's the LED design. The vibration motor has these 4 components: the coin cell battery, the actual vibration motor, and a switch, as well as the component that I'm going to be giving you for this subassembly. This little vibration motor has a self-adhesive on the back, which sits into this groove, and then the positive wire can be run along this extruded notch, and the exposed wire can sit right under the positive terminal of the battery. The negative wire can then be wired to the switch, which is then inserted into the back of the design and will actually touch the positive side of the battery as it'll sit below here. So you can see this already done on the snail design here. I've just scotch taped things in place so it doesn't slide out. And then as that switch completes the circuit, that little motor will move that subassembly around, which will then be inserted into your original design, like so. You want it to sit below the surface of your design so that switch is still reachable but doesn't conflict with the function of the object. So, like the other one, you will also have this part that won't be printed but should still be 3D modeled because it includes the tolerance of this subassembly. You can see it's slightly bigger. So as you insert it into your original design and subtract that material, it will leave the perfect negative space for this to be inserted. Now, a few things to consider when designing your original object. First is the function of the part. This has to vibrate around a surface, so having a flat base would definitely benefit this design. This design should consider that it's supposed to emit light. So this has been completely shelled out and has windows that allow you to see the light emitting through the walls, but then obviously through the windows of this design. Another design actually modifies the part that I give you slightly. So it's the base of this egg, and it also has holes for these feet to be inserted and eventually glued for this to work. So as the light is inserted into the subassembly and is inserted into this egg, the egg is shelled with thin enough walls that you can actually see the LED emitting through it. So obviously the thickness of the wall is extremely important here, and also the color of the filament that you choose, so you can actually see that blue glow coming through the egg. Looks pretty cool, right? So when coming up with your original idea, think about its function, light emitting through the design, this being able to vibrate around, as one of your top priorities. Don't forget, these have to be printed without support structure. So this is all negative. How is this roof printed without having a little scaffolding underneath that you then have to peel away and throw away? That will be a design challenge that you have to figure out a solution for. So to recap, your challenge is to design an original 3D printed component that uses these simple circuits, an LED or a vibration motor. I will include all the parts and links to these objects in the video description, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.